Welcome to Season 7 of the Excel Still More podcast. I am your host, Chris Emerson, and I am here to encourage you in your faith and help you strengthen your relationships. Today's episode is sponsored by the Cunningham Financial Group. John Cunningham can assist you in a wide variety of your financial planning needs. You can call him today at 205-326-7364. Thank you so much for listening in today. Let's get started. Good morning and welcome. I'm so thankful that you're listening in. I hope that your week is beginning in an amazing way, that you've had a chance to worship God, be inspired to live in faith and good works, and maybe these episodes can be just a bit of an encouragement to you in your walk and in your planning. In particular, today, our focus will be on money. It's been a while since we've focused on that topic. We know that the love of money can be the root of all sorts of evil, but we also know that money is a part of life and achieving goals in life, and ultimately an incredible tool to carry out the workings of God. So putting all of that into proper perspective is what we're here to do today, and I hope that you find it useful. Real quick shout out to last week. Did you get to check out Alan from Ohio? I think about that guy every day. He's got my information. He knows the name of the podcast. I hope he reaches out soon. I'd love to talk to him again. And more importantly than that, I'm just prayerful that you've had some opportunity this week to have open scripture in public, or pray, or talk about God, or wear a More Jesus t-shirt, or in some way tell the people around you, I would love to talk about the Lord. If you have had any experiences like that, conversations, interactions, would you please share them with me? You can email me, emersonk78@me.com, or reach out in any number of ways. I would love to hear your story, and if you wouldn't mind, maybe even share it with others. All right, let's get down to business today. We will be talking about a couple of extreme concepts related to money. I ran across a list the other day. It was called The Law of Attraction for Money. I don't really understand that title exactly, but it ended up being 10 different things that are true about money, all 10 of which I think are pretty great, and they categorize together kind of nicely into two big chunks, which is what we will do today. Full disclosure, I'm not a big list guy. I think I like reading them, and occasionally I present them in episodes, and people tend to like that. I get a lot of positive feedback on top 5 these, or 7 steps to this, or 10 rules for. I think there's something about our brains that likes the process of going through a list and kind of getting a little joy out of each one, but they're also just ridiculously hard to remember. So I'm always just a little bit hesitant to use them. But again, I can take the 10 things, which will all be in the show notes, and I can put them into 2 main categories. And here they are: how to make money, and then what to do with it. When it comes to goods, finances, stability, there are 2 extremes. On the one end, there's someone who says, I'm broke. I have no money, or very little money, or not enough money to meet my needs or my family's needs. This is not a great place to be in life, and there are plenty of principles that can lead you out of that station in life and put you, especially in our time and in our country, into a much better place. We want to talk to people on that end of the spectrum who do not have enough and need to find the right ways to get more. And then on the other end, there are those who have enough, or more than enough, or maybe even much more than enough. What do you do with it then? What is your relationship with money when you have a lot in the bank, or a lot of goods, or a lot invested? Because there are tremendous spiritual risks on both ends of that spectrum, and then, of course, all along the way. I mentioned to you at the very beginning that the love of money is the root of all sorts of evil. You can get that same temptation being broke or wealthy. I'm reminded of Proverbs chapter 30, and in verse 8, keep deception and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food that is my portion, that I not be full and deny you and say, who is the Lord? Or that I not be in want and steal and profane the name of my God. That to me is a raw and real way to look at money. He's praying, Lord, put me not on either end of the spectrum. Please do not lead me into poverty, for I might become weak and steal and turn from you, but also please don't give me too much. Don't tie up my identity to riches, because I might get so full that I deny you and say, who is the Lord? And that's a little bit of the goal or the takeaway today. You should not be, in our time and culture, impoverished and in need for the rest of your life. There are so many great opportunities, but the goal is not to accumulate much and rest in it. Both of them are dangers. So what you can do very early on when it comes to money, your job, your security, providing for your family, is pray like this to God. Please don't give me too little. Please don't give me too much. Please give me exactly what I need to do your work. Please help me live with contentment and to trust in you. All right, with all that groundwork laid, maybe this episode today is part of what God is putting in your life to help you from one end to the other. So I will begin with 5 of the 10 things. We're putting them together into categories for those who have very little. Maybe you're young, maybe you're not so young, but you're saying, I don't have anything or I don't have enough. What do I do? Really quickly, before we list that, on my part, I'm 46 years old. There were days in my youth when I had little, had nothing, and didn't know where I would go from there. I'm not at that stage in my life now, but I have some intense experience with that stage, as many people do, made mistakes, saw some things that worked. So I'm hopeful that as we address this first part of it, while it's not the stage of life I'm in today, though anything could happen at any time, maybe my history and steps can be beneficial. And then when we get to the other end of the lesson, what do you do when you have enough or more than enough or much more than enough, which by the grace of God is where I am at this point in my life. I feel like the risk is loving it too much, holding on to it too tightly, and making the accumulation the goal, which it most definitely is not and should not be. So those are a little bit of my interests in this project, to try to help those who have little and maybe get help from those who have much by the study of this list. Let me give you all 5 things. This is for those who have very little and they're wondering what they might do. I'll give you all 5 and then we'll walk through them. Number 1, do not despise small beginnings. Number 2, money that is not earned is unfaithful. Number 3, money is the reward for solving problems. Number 4, money multiplies after it's kind. And number 5, no one releases money until value exceeds it. And that one will have implications for both of our lists today. So let's roll back to number 1. Do not despise small beginnings. I cannot tell you how many stories I have heard, articles I have read, YouTube videos I have watched for people who have found success in life in any category, and specifically financially, who were raised under very humble beginnings. They did not despise it. They didn't blame their parents or compare themselves to those who had more. They got to work. They learned a craft or they learned a category. They did not let their background hold them back. They let it motivate them. This is random, but it reminds me of the time I took Luke when he was playing golf in high school to spend time with a former PGA player, Hal Sutton. And Hal Sutton had a great golf career, did very well. And he said, I was raised in Louisiana with a bent 9-iron and a grassy field with some holes in it. He said, I did not have the advantages of the major cities and the swing instructors and the fine golf courses. And he said, it made me so much stronger. I didn't feel disadvantaged. I felt advantaged. And it paid off throughout my career. And that was really helpful for Luke because we didn't have access to all those things either. Sometimes your excuse needs to become your reason. Whatever the setbacks in your past, that's exactly where they are. However small your beginnings, if it's taking a night college class or doing an online study or working a second job to learn a new career, those humble beginnings are a powerful motivation for your story. And there are countless witnesses like Microsoft starting in a garage to any number of other stories to show that it's not about where you start, except that it can be a great motivation to build from there. It creates integrity and strength. And so the message here is be hopeful that growth is possible. Better can absolutely be around the corner, and nothing about where you are or where you were can keep you from that. Number 2, money that is not earned is unfaithful. This is such a crucial point. The get-rich scheme stuff. The invest and magnificent returns, and you don't do much research, and you don't have to put in much time, and you don't have to know or do or lift a finger or anything, and it's just all going to windfall to you. That is not entirely a myth. There are occasional grand slams, but almost always fails, particularly if you begin living a life that says, I want to get money without earning it. You may hit a home run today and then strike out 19 times in a row. There simply is no substitute for integrity, honesty, and hard work. Any option in your path to get you what you think you need that asks you to compromise any of those things, including being lazy, is not for you. I think I told my story before about investing in some stuff back in 1999. I was going to get wealthy and everything was going to be great. And then the internet pop bubble thing happened and it all went away in an instant. And I redefined the way I would accumulate sustenance after that by getting into mutual funds and looking into history and projecting into the future and just being smarter and being more patient and working harder to pull together funds and then parse out what would be saved and what would be given and what would be spent and let time be my friend. I learned the hard way. I tried to get everything for nothing and I ended up with nothing. Number 3, money is the reward for solving problems. Now, this goes hand in hand with the idea of earning faithful funds. You have to put in work. And work means something needs to be worked on, something needs to be created or maintained or improved or repaired. Work is addressing a problem and bringing a solution to it. And while a couple of generations ago, all the young people, I think, understood this, so few do today. Look, a plumber fixes a broken pipe. He addresses a problem. He gets paid for that. An app gets created, and it helps people improve something about their life, and it earns revenue. A coach helps athletes achieve their goals, and he gets clients. I could lament all day that I want to get paid. I want daily ongoing revenue. I want clients. But I have to apply my knowledge, skills, and ability to solving some problem, and then the money comes. The money is the result of the wisely directed activity. And so instead of focusing on the money and how I'm going to get it and how much somebody's going to give me as if I deserve something just because I exist, I should be working on getting an education, learning a skill, or getting good at it. Every once in a while, I'll see a Tom Cruise interview, and they'll ask him about success, and I mean, he's the biggest movie star ever, and all these kinds of things, and he always gives this same advice. Get good at something. Get so good at something that you cannot be ignored, and maybe we're just back around to this idea of hard work. What's really cool about this is when you don't even put the emphasis on the money and then it comes anyway. I think about what I do. I've been preaching the gospel full-time at congregations since 2001. It clearly going into that was never about how much money the church was willing to give me. I mean, that's not why you get into this. But what I did do is got up every day and thought, how can I be more effective in studying and learning and applying and teaching, and how can I help more people, and what material can I create, and how can I practice these lessons and get better? And people have problems. They're on these spiritual journeys and they need guidance. How can I help them? Can a podcast help them? Can a book help them? What can I do to help people with their problems? And whether I was thinking about it or not, there is a value to the ability to accomplish that. And what it's led to is significant and dependable support for the spiritual work and the products and stuff that I get to do. So let me slow this down and take you back through. I've already decided we're at the 14-minute mark. We're going to do part 1 this week, which is I'm broke, help. Maybe that's what we'll call it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm thinking about it. And then we'll come back with the other 5 next week. Now I found some measure of financial sustenance. What do I do? So let's walk back through the 3, and then we'll just do the 5. Number 1, do not despise small beginnings. Wherever you start, you are the sum total of all those experiences. The harder it's been, probably the more you've learned. That's an asset. Use your previously noted excuses as motivations and opportunities. Number 2, money that is not earned is unfaithful. You must be honest, you must have integrity, and you've got to be willing to do hard work. I was in the car with a friend the other day, Ben Shipley. Love that guy. We were going visiting, talking. Song comes on the radio, Against the Wind. He said, Chris, I've been going against the wind my whole life. And I thought, that's weird. I thought you've had a pretty good life. He's like, that's not my point. It's not adversity. It's just I've always had to make effort. I've always had to labor and push and fight for what I had to face or what I wanted in life. And that's just his mentality. If it's easy, he doesn't even want it. He wants to face the wind, the headwinds, to try to get to that next level. And I think that's really awesome. It certainly has integrity and faithfulness to it. Number 3, money is the reward for solving problems. Focus less on what you're going to get and focus more on the value that you're going to provide. In fact, I'm going to move the order around just a little bit and hit this one as number 4. No one releases money until value exceeds it. Now, this one's kind of extra cool. I'm going to need to reference it next week because I think once you have more than enough in your life, and you may even fall in love with having that cushion, how will you ever get rid of it? You may spend the rest of your life just accumulating it, and that seems sad and perhaps even unfaithful. And so we can use this point to show that there are points in which you will give away or spend your money, but you have to decide what are things more valuable than having it. And that's when you begin to unlock it in the giving portion. So we'll use that again next week. But for today, let's put it up here in this first category for someone who's saying, how do I accumulate a better income or a better savings? Well, let's look at this again. No one you might be selling to or offering yourself to in a job or pitching a project to, none of them will release money to you unless the value you're offering exceeds what it will cost them. I wonder if our young people have this twisted idea that if they express that they want money, then parents or neighbors or friends will just come up with great ways to give it to them, as if that's the way the world works. You just want it really bad, and then somebody will just go, oh, here you go. That rarely happens, and it's a wrongful view of money. A better idea for our young people would be go to your parents and present to them a deal they can't refuse. Give them some value. Maybe it's yard work or house cleaning or running some errands. Maybe it's somebody in the neighborhood you want to mow the lawn for or something that you want to do. You are ready to put in some work and solve somebody's problems, and so you come in and go, here's a value I can give to you. And if that value exceeds the amount of money in their pocket, they'll just give you that money, and they're glad to do it. It's for you and it's for them. We have to get past this entitled thing that there are people in life who just want life to be great for you. And so they're going to come up with any way possible to give you money. It's not even a responsible way to teach you to think. So parents shouldn't even look at it that way. Instead, we need to be looking at exchange for value. So if you want to monetize your hobby, your interest, what you went to school for, or some business idea, you need to be thinking in terms of problem solving, but you also need to be thinking of how do I create so much value for someone that they will easily and joyfully pay me for it. I heard an entrepreneur say the other day, products are not sold, they're bought. That's just a really cool way of saying selling or getting hired or making progress is not about pushing, it's about them pulling you towards them because of the value that you bring to them, meeting their needs, etc. So what does that mean for you? You have to think in terms of other people, which I believe to be an incredible way to live life. You go, man, I'd really like to have this deal or get this job or make this progress. You can't just sit there and think about you. Instead, you think about others, how to help them. If you're focused on that with integrity and faith, you will not have to worry about the other end of things. And then lastly, number 5, and this fits under just generally how to take small amounts and grow them, money multiplies after its own kind. This is a bit tangential to what we've been talking about, but investing is just really important. Money grows like seeds. Apple seeds are planted, they raise apple trees that produce a bunch of apples that fall off and seed and produce a bunch more. And money produces money. And the best way to apply that is through basic mutual fund investments, reliable long-term stock investments. I tell my kids, Hannah and Braden have been married a few years, just take a small amount of your income, nothing that hurts you, but a small amount after your charity designation, after your church contribution designation. The next thing is how much do you want moved over here to just be seed that gets planted to grow trees that grows more trees. I could give you countless examples of this. If you had $5,000 and you put it in a mutual fund, by year 10, it'd be worth 10 grand. By year 20, it'd be worth 20 grand. By year 40, it'd be worth $75,000. But you might be saying, hey, who's got 5,000? And that's a great question. You go, look, you're supposed to be telling me how to accumulate funds for my life. You're telling me to go invest them. What I'm saying is take small amounts out of whatever you get, just like you do for the Lord. There's give, save, and spend. And if you can just be faithful to that, a little bit will become a lot running passively in the background. I think that also takes work. It's just the work of discipline. It's the work of delayed gratification, and it's pretty amazing. So let's pick this up next week. Next week, we'll talk to people who have enough or more than enough or much more than enough. What are you doing with that? Because the relationship there with money can be extremely healthy or it can be extremely harmful, and we need some tactics. But for those who have little in life at this moment and simply need more for the people that they love or for their future, maybe these 5 things can help you or motivate you. Number 1, do not despise small beginnings. Number 2, money that is not earned is unfaithful. Number 3, money is the reward for solving problems. Number 4, no one releases money to you unless value exceeds it. And number 5, money multiplies after its own kind. I don't want to turn this into an ad for John Cunningham, but he's been a sponsor with me forever, and he's awesome. And he was at the very beginning of the episode with his phone number. But if you're looking for professional guidance in small investments turning into big future goals, then give John a call. Otherwise, pray for contentment where you are, but also a direction to better and the discipline and integrity to pursue it. And then maybe before too long, you will never again have to utter these fateful words: I'm broke, help. Thank you for joining in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment and share it with a friend. Speaking of friends, I just want to thank once again Tyler Cain and Statewide Mortgage for sponsoring this podcast. If you have any home mortgage needs, you can reach Tyler today at 813-380-8487. And always remember, whatever you do in the name of Jesus Christ, excel still more.